This is VSiN, the sports betting network.
Follow the money.
I always say, you always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
This hour is sponsored by Better. Better Picks, a daily fantasy sports app where your sports knowledge turns into real cash fast. Download Better. Visit better.app now. Sign up today. Get free money and no deposit necessary. BETR, better.app.
We've got to dive deep this week in soccer. International breaks here, and nobody better to bring on right now to talk about it than the meat man himself, Steve Wyss, on the program here, Progressive Guest Line. He is with Because We Win and the Nordic Football Pod. Steve, good afternoon. Good late evening your time. We appreciate it. The time is always here. Let's begin with a World Cup qualifying match. This is tomorrow, and you want to attack Turkey against Bulgaria. What's the play here?
Yeah, goals is the play here. As my cat gets involved, she likes to play as well. Over 3.5 goals, minus 110 is the bet here. Bulgaria are awful. They're really poor side. A lot of people who might be even watching this would have grown up in the 90s and 2000s, and Bulgaria were decent, but they're really horrible now. I mean, you just look at their results in this group. They've conceded 3 goals in every single game. And they face a Turkey side who are free scoring. And Turkey can't win the group because Spain are just too good. But Turkey are a mad soccer nation, you know. Like, they really, the fans are obsessed. There would never be even like a friendly game for them. They want to rack up the score. The reverse meeting, Turkey won 6-1 in Bulgaria. So Turkey can cover this goal line all by themselves. I expect them to win big. Bulgaria might nick a goal because Turkey's defense is not completely reliable. But I actually do rate Turkey. I think they've got a chance of qualifying for the World Cup via the playoffs. And you're nearly as good as the Turkey you're going to have in Thanksgiving in 2 weeks' time.
What's your kitty cat's name?
Cricket is her name.
Cricket.
Wow. I had a dog named Cricket.
That's
did? Unbelievable. What are the odds?
Really?
You did, really?
Yes.
I went. That's
no way.
Yes.
The school I went to, Fall Creek Crickets. I am not the Mighty Crickets.
Yeah.
Can't make it up.
That's great. Yeah. Wanted camera time. I mean,
She likes to get involved. See, she often has a knack of coming on screen when I'm on.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Now you have my attention. Liechtenstein, you were all over this dreadful club. Last time they played, they got blasted on a Friday morning. Now they're taking on Wales. You have a phenomenal angle in this match Friday, excuse me.
Yeah, Liechtenstein are one of the worst teams in world soccer, one of the lowest ranks nations. And Wales should come here and beat them quite big. There's an interesting little dangling carrot for Wales, because if they win the game by a 6-goal margin, then they will move to second place in their group, which would help them out because it would mean in their next game they could just get a draw and finish second. And the coach, the manager, has talked about he really wants to finish second in the group. It really helped their World Cup chances. So, you know, I think over 4.5 goals is a good bet for the game, because Wales are going to need to score at least 6 goals by themselves anyway. Liechtenstein, believe it or not, actually did score a goal in their last game against Montenegro, I think it was. So Wales might just commit everyone forward. And there's a chance that Liechtenstein might get some opportunities on the break. So it might be a rare game they might score a goal. So I think we could see quite a lot of goal-mouth action in general. I wouldn't put off anyone backing Wales on the minus 5.5 handicapper, you know, about plus 400, just to cover for that 6-0, which could happen. Wales are a really well-coached side these days under Craig Bellamy. You know, they do lack a little bit of ability, but Liechtenstein lack all ability. They are so bad. I would fancy scoring against them.
Yes.
Genuinely would.
You could? All right.
So over 4.5 goals plus 110, I think is a good bet.
All right. Great angle. Sunday, Ukraine and Iceland. Both teams to score. BTTS.
This looks way too big. I mean, both sides are on 7 points in the table with 1 game left. And one of these teams will finish second place. And if you get second, you go into the playoff system to qualify for the World Cup. So at no stage in this game are both teams content with the outcome. A draw would be good for Iceland, but that's not good for Ukraine. So what you often get in a game like this, where there's never one team happy and it's the last chance to qualify, sort of thing. You get a really open game full of goals. Immediately, I was drawn to the goal line over 2.5 is plus money at plus 120, I think. Both teams to score, yes. I expected this to be significantly minus money because, I mean, if you look at Iceland's results in this group stage, they did keep a clean sheet today. The reverse fixture ended a 5-3 win for Ukraine. And so there's a history of goals when these two teams meet. And I think we could get that again. We could get a wild scoreline, but at very least, get both teams to score at plus 110. It's far too big. I'd have this about minus 150.
Okay. Let's go to the lower league Saturday. Let's start with League One. You're right back on the train with Luton Town. They depose Rotherham. How do you want to play it?
I'm right back on this Luton Town train. And I mentioned a few weeks ago, they've got a new manager. I backed them the first week and they lost, but they've now won their last two. And the win they had last week at Stockport was a brilliant performance, possibly the best performance of the whole season in League One so far. To win 3-0 at Stockport is exceptional. And I think this team is back. I still think they've got the best squad in League One. They just needed more confidence. They just needed more belief. And they needed a manager to give them a better tactical directive. And if they can't kick on from that and maintain their momentum now, then I'll be really surprised. Minus one Asian handicap for me, Luton Town, minus 105 against a Rotherham team who pre-season I actually backed to be relegated. Mm-hmm. Rotherham are unbeaten in 6 games, which is probably why the odds are so generous on Luton. But for me, Luton are far better. So the minus one Asian handicap makes a lot of sense to me. They're capable. If they play like they do last week, Rotherham have no chance here whatsoever.
All right, good angle. How about Wickham against Port Vale?
Yeah, Port Vale, one of the very few quirks of English soccer. They were a team that's not named after a place name. They're nowhere near a port or the coast for those who are interested. So I think Wickham can come here and get them on a draw no bet handicap at minus 110. As you can hear my cat in the background, yeah. She's meowing like anything. She's going crazy. But Wickham for me, they're in good form, unbeaten in 5, and Port Vale have lost 3 games in a row, all to 0. They got promoted this season, and apart from one good run where they won 2 or 3 matches, they haven't looked very good. They lack goals. And I know a few Wickham fans, actually, and they've said to me they're just starting to find their best form again. So I was surprised to see this a pick'em game. I thought Wickham would be evens to win on Moneyline. So we can get nearly evens on the draw no bet. If it's a draw, we're not going to lose anything. So for me, Wickham here are the better side. Port Vale are in poor form. They lack goals. We could see a win to 0 again. I think maybe 0-1 or 0-2 for Wickham. So it looks a solid bet.
All the money, Pauly and Mitch Wyss in the Sports Betting Network. The Meat Man, our guest, Steve Wyss, and Meat Man Soccer on X. Because we win pod as well. He's on the progressive guest line. League 2. I also think you said Harrogate Town was going to get relegated before the season. If you correct me if I'm wrong. They're taking on Notts County. What do you think of this one?
Yeah, and I do think Harrogate Town will go down. I said it last week. I backed against them last week, and we profited with Oldham. And we're going to bet against them again. Notts County here on the minus one Asian handicap at minus 120. This is probably the best bet of the week, actually, to be honest with you. Notts County and MK Dons are the best 2 teams in this league with quality. Notts County have found quite a bit of form recently, won 4 of their last 5. Good home record, second best home record in the league with 5 wins out of 7. And Harrogate Town are just in free fall. They have lost 9 of their last 11 games, including the last 5 consecutively. I said last week they need to change the manager, Simon Weaver, but that's not going to happen because his dad is the owner of the club. So Weaver's safe. I mean, I read an interview with Weaver this week. He said he believes hard work will get them out of trouble. But the problem I've got with Harrogate Town is I think even if they work really hard, they lack the quality. They just don't have that ability compared to Notts County. So, maybe Harrogate could beat some of the poorer teams down there, but they're not going to get a result against one of the best squads in the league who are in form. So the minus one Asian handicap looks very, very safe. As long as Notts County win the game, you're not going to lose anything. But I think you're probably looking at quite a comfortable win, probably 2-0, 3-0 to Notts County. Harrogate are abysmal right now.
Very good. Hey, Meat Man, looking at the Prim, obviously, with the bye this week, Arsenal is up in the table. They have 26 points. They're 4 up on Man City, 6 up on Chelsea. The team with the best chances to catch them, I'm going to say probably Man City. Do they catch them? And then how would you stack it behind Man City for teams that you would give the best chance to catch Arsenal if possible?
Well, do you know what's interesting? Chelsea is still 25-1 to win the Premier League. And I think you could do worse than bet on them. I don't think Chelsea will win it, but they're a big price. Manchester City are interesting because if you actually look at the relegation market, they're still as short as 14-1 with some people to go down. And I did hear just a couple of small rumours that there might be some motion soon on the charges, the 115 charges against them.
Oh, come on.
Why? What that means? What I'm saying is, don't go and rush betting on Man City to win the Premier League, just in case. Even if that was to happen, there'd be appeals all over the place.
Yeah,
it might be completely nothing, but just be cautious out there if you are betting on Manchester City. Chelsea, for me, would be the value bet at 25-1.
Okay. And you could also find, like, to finish top 2 on something like that, and probably a decent number on Chelsea as well. Meat Man, you're the best. Thanks so much. Best of luck this weekend.
Thanks so much, guys. You take care.
All right.
Yeah, there you go. Follow Steve on X at Meatman Soccer. He is with Because We Win and the Nordic Football Podcast as well, and he was on the Progressive Guest Line.
Well, I hope he's right. Eventually, they're penalized for all these charges.
Well, yeah, it's taken long enough here, Pauly.
Yeah.
God, 2026 is coming up. Still no resolution to it?
Uh-huh.
It's like Michigan State got dinged yesterday in college football. Whatever happened to Michigan? Nothing?
It came right down on Sheffield Wednesday, too.
Yeah, that's right.
Which I know they were in administration with what the owner wasn't paying the bills, but come on. It's just what they did to Nottingham Forest and Everton. Oh, man. They got us good last year.
Yeah, so we have a Thursday night game with a point spread in the National Football League, around 13, as the Pats are hosting the Jets. Home favorites have been really strong with this angle going back more than a decade, 60+%. We'll give you the details on that next here on Follow the Money.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Loaded Thursday edition. Thanks for watching on YouTube TV, listening on Sirius XM channel 158, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, or any of our outstanding affiliates across the country. Brad Powers, professional sports bettor, a half an hour. That's coming up in 15. We'll do nothing but college football with him. Some huge and marquee games this weekend on the schedule. And in 45 minutes, the fantasy guru himself, John Hansen, on the show. I will give you one that he has, one prop that he likes tonight. We'll talk and ask him about it, why he likes it at that time. Paul Charchian came on earlier, and he said he likes Breece Hall a lot, over 2.5 catches. John Hansen likes Breece Hall over 14.5 receiving yards. When he wrote it at vsin.com, it was -120 at BetMGM. But the path,
Excellent.
right, where it's going to be a lot of underneath stuff probably.
Has to be dump-offs.
No Garrett Wilson.
Have you ever seen a prop this low on a quarterback?
I can't recall it being that low. No.
He's 124 yards in some
it keeps
spot.
going down? He was 133.5 earlier.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's incredible. Oh, my God.
That's got to be teetering on a record if it's not, right? I mean, come on. What for a quarterback in the NFL, in a league that's been, pass happy for a long time now?
Mm-hmm. Also, as we talked about earlier, that 6 different times a Patriot has led him in receiving yards. This really opens it up. First touchdown of the game. You can throw out Jet players if you want. I'm not going to put you off that. And then if you want to, there's a lot of cases to be made for Patriot players. Maybe Chalk comes in and fine. So be it. But even Drake May's 12-1 here at Circa. But there's so many different guys I could see. It's just because he spreads it around so well. And maybe it could be a long one, too. But
You know what I'm thinking because of that, Paul?
Uh-huh.
I think it's a good night maybe to bet the leading receiver in the game.
That's not bad.
You're probably
I thought you were going to go defensive touchdown, first score.
First score.
I thought you were going to attack that.
Ryan Kramer, we'll get that at some point. Ryan Kramer from the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm willing to bet that he's going to have the defense on there.
No touchdowns, 150-1. You might have that in pocket, too.
First half, no touchdown.
Well, you could do that.
We have to talk about that like every single primetime game.
Mm-hmm.
Came in on Monday. Doesn't mean it's going to happen tonight, obviously, but you're probably going to get a bomb, or you can make a case here tonight that it's going to be a no-name type of player to lead this game. It might be Breece Hall. He's not a no-name, obviously, but his prop's 14.5 for the receiving yards. Could he have like 6 for 75 and win that?
What do you want? What are you looking for?
I want bombs. I'm going to go bombs
I know.
away.
What price do you want? Yeah, sure.
Anything above 12 to 1.
Well, Brees is 22.
Maybe worth a stab.
You could have a 65-yard catch.
Give me some random Patriots players with big numbers.
They have Henderson. Well, they just have Henderson 25, and that's a Mac Hollins 6, Pop Douglas 6.
What's Henry?
Henry is plus 450, the second shot. With Booty out.
All right.
Diggs is 2 to 1. Henry plus 450. Mac 6 to 1. So was Pop. Mason Taylor's 8.
I was going to say, what's
Mitchell's
Taylor? Okay.
10. Arian
Mitchell.
Smith is 20. Isaiah Davis is 20. Brees Hall is 22.
Listen to those names, man.
Oh, mama.
Could Mitchell get there?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? They could take some
what Chart said. He does one thing. That's it. He just...
Right. No, the thing is, you have to have Justin Fields get the ball next to him then.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a possibility here in this game?
Mm-hmm. No,
But,
I think it's, I think it's worth. Certainly, I mean, I played over 14.5 receiving yards. I would think they could take some shots and just hit on one of them, especially if you're getting blown out
right,
and you're throwing the whole second half.
Maybe it's like a backup tight end tonight. How about Isaiah Davis? What is he?
20. And Hooper's out for the Patriots.
That's right.
You take that angle out, but Isaiah's 20.
Oh, God. And if you're going to bet a Jets player, though, that means that Justin Fields and that prop is 124.5 yards now. Yikes. Don't love that. Let me give you some numbers here from Steve Mackin and vsin.com. NFL home favorites of 7 points or more are on a 33-3 straight-up run, 21-13-2 ATS on Thursday games. That is since the beginning of the 2014 season, Pauly, and that is a 61.8% clip. Also, on Thursday nights, the Jets, terrible. 2-6 straight up and ATS last 8, allowing 27 points per game. Prime time in general, the Jets, 3-16 straight up, 5-14 ATS. And you have rookie head coaches. This is Aaron Glenn's first spot, right? To prepare for a Thursday night game, like this part of the season. Rookie head coaches in the large underdog role are 27, 118, and 1 straight up, 19%. They're 49% ATS, though, when catching 7 points or more.
Yeah. Have you decided what you're doing in Survivor?
I have.
You don't want to share?
Yeah, I'm not going to share.
Okay, fair enough. So the other angle here, too. Blowout, and you can't run against New England. Most rushing.
Right.
You want to look at a quarterback?
Oh, man, yeah.
Can't Fields have a couple 30-yard scrambles? Is that possible? Also, the catch-up angle?
Yeah.
He's 750 at DraftKings. Drake May's 10 to 1. This is most rushing yards in the game. Brees Hall plus 140 is unbettable.
Oh, my God.
They've allowed 50 yards once. So that's what, and I love Henderson. And now he's in a position now where you got to feed him after what he did last week and the Stevenson injury.
So who is, give me some other Patriots on the list, by the way.
All they have is Jennings 16 to 1.
I was going to say.
All they have is Henderson, Hall, Fields, May, and Jennings.
How about Jennings? Backing up Henderson. Turns into a blowout. They don't stuff Henderson down their throat, 25 times in this game. And they give it to Jennings 15 times, and he gets out of there with 70 yards and wins it.
This is also a phenomenal game for last touchdown score. It's another one. I mean, if they take him out behind the woodshed and they're spanking that ass, I mean, there's just, you could get some big tickets at cash with that one, too.
Yeah.
Who knows who's in the game at that point?
Backup quarterback for the Patriots? You want to go Josh Dobbs?
Oh, man.
Do they have him listed?
Won't they? I'm looking. I was thinking, won't they get some Mechie time? Could Mechie do something?
I could see that, sure.
He's 16 to 1 anytime touchdown.
Anytime. Big number.
Yeah.
Davis Mills popped last week. Your buddy had him. 18 to 1.
That's right.
Anytime.
Yeah. Mechie is 90 to 1 first touchdown of the game.
Oh, boy. And anytime is 16. What's last on him? Got to be close to.
I don't see that.
Okay.
But that's
by the way, good point from TMI Ozzy. He said that when he had a bet on Davis Mills at 18-1 anytime, he said he has to take that number on any quarterback in the league other than Aaron Rodgers. And I would agree with that.
He also pointed out that he had a sneak the prior week. I think at the 1 or 2 yard line.
That's right.
So that also played into
it. Yep. Like there's an 8 for almost every single quarterback in the league. And now you're not going to get 18-1 on many of the guys, obviously. But if you ever see that with the backup quarterback, it's worth some change, man. For sure on something like that.
Yep.
I didn't see it coming the way that Mills got in the end zone, but
from way out, I know.
Yeah.
That's right.
That doesn't matter. They all cashes. So.
Right. If you want to look at it again against the Titans, see if they adjust what that is now and how far they drop them. But he got 18 at Caesars. It was 22 at MGM.
Oh, was it really?
So that's a good point by him, though.
Oh, I can't imagine he'll be higher than like 10-1 this week. In a game that they're favored by that many points and he just scored?
Stroud has been ruled out by Ryans. So you got to get him ready for the Bills game next Thursday.
Yeah.
Think you know sports? Time to get paid for it. Better Picks, the daily fantasy app where your sports knowledge turns into real cash fast. Download the Better app. Pick more or less on your favorite player stats. If your pick hits, you win. New users get free money just for signing up and no deposit required. And when you do deposit, you get a 50% deposit match up to $200. Better has action year-round. NBA, soccer, UFC, golf, and more. Head to better.app or download Better in the app or Google Play Store. Promo code VEASAN for your free money and deposit bonus today. Code VEASAN, better.app.
It's almost like an angle before the season starts that if books were to post like a huge number on any starting quarterback in the league at like, let's say 500-1, they don't do that. But if they did on a starting quarterback in the NFL, like you got to take a shot with that. Like what I'm sure the biggest numbers out there on Sam Darnold before the year started, there had to be books offering triple digits on him, I'm guessing. And probably not even that long ago, he might have been more than 100-1. And now he's one of the short shots on the board. Drake May, I got him at 95-1. Now he's, I'm really hoping for a big game out of that guy tonight. That'd be awesome. Especially then if we get like a bloodbath and a low-scoring game between the Rams and the Seahawks this weekend. That'd be huge for his, number overall and chance, I think, to win the award. But
perfect storm.
Yeah,
got off to a slow start. They lost 2 of their first 3 games.
Good call.
So the big number was in there. Also, the Patriots go over their win total with a win tonight.
They'll be the second team then.
That's right.
Colts did on Sunday.
Did it. Baltimore and Washington go under with 1 more loss.
Very good. Professional sports bettor Brad Powers on the program coming up next. Very important clashes in the SEC this weekend. Who does he like? Find out next on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Welcome back. Heavy college football here for the next half an hour. Longtime friend of the show, professional sports bettor Brad Powers makes his return to the program. Covers.com on X at BradPower7. Brad, good afternoon. Thanks for the time as always, pal. How are you?
Doing well. Thanks for having me, guys. Long time no talk.
Yep, back at you. Let's begin. Some absolutely gigantic games this weekend, obviously in the SEC. We'll start with Alabama and Oklahoma. Now I'm looking at the Crimson Tide. It looks like 6 is painted across the screen here. Total is in the mid-40s. What are your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I'm part of the Oklahoma money this week. I like a lot of things here. I like the spot, Oklahoma off a bye. I like the sense of urgency. Obviously, they lose, they'll be out of the college football playoff contention. I mean, Alabama certainly is trying to win. I'm not saying that, but kudos to Alabama for winning 8 in a row after the Florida State debacle. But I mean, half of those wins, the final score did not match the box score, meaning that, the stats didn't necessarily say that Alabama should have been as dominant as they were. I got a better running offense, not saying much considering Alabama, but I got the better defense. I'm catching points. I like Oklahoma, and I think they're pretty live in this game. I wouldn't be shocked if they won the game outright.
Oh, that'd be something. Okay, incredible. So now I want your thoughts on Texas, which they should have lost to Kentucky. We're down 17 to Miss State. Look good for 3 quarters against Vandy, and now they go on the road against Georgia. Georgia 6.5. How do you see it?
I bet Georgia. I'm not buying Texas. I mean, what 3-quarter performance against Vanderbilt, catching Vanderbilt in a nice spot. That's changing all our thought process about a Texas team that's still only covered twice all season. That was against Sam Houston State and Oklahoma, who was playing with a one-arm quarterback
right
in that game. So, I'm just not buying Texas. Georgia's been, hit or miss, but kudos for them. They when they have to turn it on, that they can. A la the Ole Miss game. I liked what I saw from them, particularly in the second half. I like what I see generally in the second half, a lot of their games. But the more proven commodity here, the more trustworthy commodity is Georgia. And hell, they beat Texas twice last year, and they're going to win and cover again this year.
Plus, we need a Georgia win here, right, to keep Texas out of the playoff. I don't want to see this team in, do you?
Yeah, I don't have any futures on them. So, yeah, I don't mind getting them out of there. But if there's one 3-loss team that can make it, I would say it's Texas. But I'll say this. I do kind of like Texas if they're facing an 11-0 A&M team in a couple weeks. That'll be the spot where I might be interested in betting Texas.
Yeah, not bad. And I know you don't watch the shows, but they're already making the case for a 3-loss Texas to get in if they can split with those next two big matchups. Kiffin blew it last year against the same opponent. 14 at home against Florida. Lagway starts. What do you think?
There's too many. Look, I like to think I can price, variance and uncertainty. This one's got too much variance and uncertainty for me. I still don't know if Florida's quit on the season. It certainly looked like that last week against Kentucky. They got an interim coach, not much to play for.
Yeah.
In Lane Kiffin, I mean, there's rumors that he might be the Florida head coach. Will he want to run it up on maybe his future school?
Okay.
Who knows with him? I mean, when you want to zig, he zags, and the other way around. I did not bet the side or total, and can't really recommend a position on it. It's just I wouldn't be stunned if Ole Miss lost the game. I wouldn't be stunned if Ole Miss won by 45.
Wow, that's not bad. You have an incredible tweet here on the Irish. Correct me if I'm wrong. They're on a 35-0 straight up run, is more than a touchdown favorite on the road.
Yeah, laying 7 or more on the road this century. So back to 2000, 35 straight wins, straight up. They've done a nice job against the spread too, 21-14, average cover margin of more than 5 points per game. So they take care of business. That's saying something. They really certainly take care of business on the road, not so much at home, but I doubt anybody else in the country can have that mark right now.
Wow, no kidding. Well, okay, do they take care of business then against Pitt? Pitt can be a little feisty here.
Yeah, I think they do. If you tell me Notre Dame plays a clean game, I think they easily win this one. Market says Notre Dame like hit every week for the last 6 or 7 weeks. I mean, they're taking money on Notre Dame. If you want to bet Pitt, I'd wait. I think you might get a better number later in the week. I was a little surprised some under money came. I know the weather might not be great, but I like over here. I mean, you look at Pitt's defense is going to be boom or bust. I mean, they're going to try to load up to stop the run. But I think they can be had, over the top, and that's what CJ Carr does. I mean, he's number 1 in the country in yards per attempt. So Notre Dame's offense will have some success, and obviously Pitt's offense averaging 40 points per game. Now they haven't faced any defense close to Notre Dame, but I think Pitt can get some points here, especially with Reed back. So over 54, I like quite a bit.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. By the way, where do you have Notre Dame in your power ratings, and what's their ceiling this year? Like, how far of a run do you think they can get on?
Well, I have them 4th in my power ratings, and I'm betting against them most weeks, especially at close, because they take, a point or two throughout the week, every single week. But I mean, the market probably has them. I mean, by market, I mean, what the weekly, line projections and what the spreads are, probably has them 2nd or 3rd. Definitely only behind Ohio State, maybe Indiana. So I think the ceiling is just as high, if not higher, than last year, especially on offense, because they can actually throw the ball down the field consistently. So if they get a couple of the offensive lineman starters back healthy, keep in mind they're playing without their top 3 offensive linemen again. They're certainly capable of making a deep run in the playoffs yet again. It all depends on pathway. Like right now, they got to face Ohio State in the second round. They got to go to Oregon. I mean, that's as tough a path as anybody. So they could be a better team than last year, but the pathway, prevents them from making a run.
Yes, that's true. I want your thoughts on this. Is an interesting game. So Wisconsin hung in there against Oregon. They did beat Washington, even though Wisconsin's leading passer was their punter. Now they're catching more than 4 touchdowns against Indiana off the huge win against Penn State and the dramatics there and your buddy Gus Johnson on a final call. So what do you think of Indiana here, 29 points at home?
I haven't bet it. I'd probably lean towards the Wisconsin side. There has not been quit on the defensive side of the ball for Wisconsin. There wasn't even against Ohio State. They're fighting, clawing, and scratching at the end of that game. I like some of their young kids that posted kid, rush, outside linebacker is going to be tremendous if they can hold on to him. I'm not wild about Indiana. I do have Indiana number 2 in my power ratings, but I'm not wild about laying 4 touchdowns of what I consider to be a pretty good defense. So if I had to play it and I haven't, I would lean Wisconsin.
All right, staying in that conference then, USC is at home to Iowa. USC is a team that if they win out will be a playoff team. They're laying 6.5. I got to tell you, I would love the Hawkeyes to win this game outright if it was at home. What do you want to do with this one as it's played in Los Angeles?
Yeah, you mentioned Los Angeles. I don't think the market's fully grasping that there's going to be a lot of rain. The atmospheric river is going to be flowing there. So I bet the under. Okay. And if you think, 40s, how can you bet that with the USC game? I mean, their last 4 games have only averaged 49 total points per game. We're right in line with that. Obviously, Iowa's doing their part. Their last 4 games averaged a total of 41 total points per game. So played in some heavy rain. Let's go under at current. I did bet Iowa. But you need at least 7 to get involved there.
All right. How about the Buckeyes laying 31.5 against UCLA?
So, yeah, I mean, first time they didn't cover was last week. First time going back to last year's Michigan game. But I do sense something there. If you look at, their 2 biggest point spreads this year against FBS competition, let's remove the Grambling game. They're laying 28 to Ohio, pushed that one. Laying 29 last week, won by 24. Well, I'm getting towards the UCLA side here because if you follow Ohio State, boy, they're running the 3rd slowest tempo in the country in plays per minute. And when you're laying this kind of number and you're running slow tempo, I just don't know if there's going to be enough possessions in the game to get margin. So I lean UCLA here.
That's a great angle. They mentioned on the broadcast last week that they're playing slow because they're expecting so many games in such a long season. How about a time? Who's the Heisman Trophy winner? How do you think this plays out?
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, I think Mendoza would win it, even though the odds say it's saying right now slight favorite. Boy, if you read some of the, the internal stuff, the hidden ballots, if you had to vote now, who would you vote for? I mean, it's overwhelming Mendoza. Not surprised because I don't think people watch college football, Heisman voters included. So I would vote for Sang. I think Sang should win it. I think Ohio State's going to, get after Indiana pretty good in the Big Ten championship game. It's just, how many voters are going to have their minds made up because of that great moment against Penn State where they wouldn't have been in that moment if he didn't throw, a bad 4th quarter pick or didn't play average for most of the game. So you look at Sang's numbers. I mean, he is 80+% completion percentage. Yeah. I mean, it's the best in the history of college football. Nobody's ever done that. He's 8% better than anybody else in college football this year. He's number 1. And, if you look at the PFF grades, if you look at a bunch of metrics, I mean, he's number 1 in the country. So I would vote him if I had a vote. Yeah.
I mean, those are some pretty strong numbers to ignore here. I mean, that's historical. I mean, 80%, like you said, when you look at the overall leaders, it just jumps off the page like, how the hell does this guy not win? And what is the TD to INT ratio, like 24-4 or something like that? Guy's having an amazing season.
Yep. And people, he's got a great wide receiver core. But but he's still having they've had a good wide receiver core for 5 or 6 years, and he has better numbers than CJ Stroud and all those other great Ohio State quarterbacks.
Great point. More college football. Brad Powers up next. Is he buying Clemson on the road tomorrow night against Louisville?
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
More college football here with professional sports bettor Brad Powers as he's on the Progressive Guest Line. Follow him on X. He is at BradPower7, covers.com, and BradPowersports.com, the website. The ACC, sloppy, messy. Clemson can only be kicking themselves in the ass after a terrible year out of them. Otherwise, it could be at the very top of this thing. Nice win for them last week. Now they're on the road tomorrow night against Louisville. They're a 2.5-point dog. Are you buying Clemson here in this spot?
Yeah, remarkably, they're 4-5, and this is their first time they've been an underdog. That's how pathetic of a season that they've had for Clemson. I'm not. Look, they've taken a ton of money in the market for it to blow through 3.
Uh-huh.
I'm not a part of it, though, because they've been too high variance for me. They haven't been consistent enough. Obviously, Braum has been the model of being consistently inconsistent, but he always plays to, the level of his opponent. Mm-hmm. This is the type of game that, the buy and low after last week's horrific loss, as bad of a loss as any team's had in college football this year, considering the expectations. I lean Louisville at -2.5. I haven't bet it yet, though.
Okay. Also Friday, I laid a bad number with Minnesota. I don't like the spot for Oregon. And also they had so many injuries in that game against Iowa, but it's up to 25.5.
Yeah, I mean, I got a good number on Oregon, a really good number, but I couldn't recommend it now at current. It's moved way too much. I'm going to go derivative. I'm going to go Oregon team total over 34.5. I'm not buying Minnesota's defense. They gave up obviously a ton to Iowa, ton to Ohio State. They're completely different away from home than they are at home. So I just think Oregon's due to stretch their legs a little bit offensively. So Oregon team total over 34.5.
Where do you have the Ducks, by the way, in your power ratings?
That's a good question. I am 5th right now because of the injuries. So another team that hasn't really played anybody, played one team, Indiana, and got beat on their home field. So the Penn State game didn't age well. But I still see certain aspects if they get healthy. They're a team that has a higher ceiling than most. But the problem is a lot of these teams, like even A&M and the SEC, it's not like they played Georgia and Alabama or anybody else, worth a damn so far in the SEC. A lot of the contenders, the Buckeyes included, Notre Dame in this 7-game stretch here hasn't really played anybody. I mean, nobody's playing really anybody consistently with the exception of Alabama.
Yeah. How many teams do you think, maybe some that you just talked about right there, can on a neutral field defeat the Buckeyes?
Yeah, we talked about this in the break. One, and that team being Ohio State. Meaning if they play clean, I don't see anybody beating them. And here's the thing. They play clean this year. I mean, Julian Saints only got, and despite his first year as a starting quarterback, he's only got 4 picks. I here to tell, I didn't think this would be possible, but I think Patricia's a better DC, better fit for the college game than Jim Knowles. That's aged really well. That coordinator hire with an inexperienced defense to do what he's done. So I don't see anyone right now beating the Buckeyes. But I will say that projected path, I mean, if the playoffs, if it started today, they didn't do them any favors getting the winner of the Notre Dame-Oregon matchup. I mean, I got Notre Dame and Oregon in my top 5. I mean, they'd be basically playing a semifinal game in the first round.
Remember that happened to Oregon last year. Mm-hmm. The number 1 seed with a bye, and their path was terrible, and they got routed their first game.
Yep. And I would argue the same thing with the Buckeyes. I mean, those would be 2 teams I wouldn't want to play.
Yep. How about South Florida laying this big of a number against Navy, and then the nonsense that happened with Navy last week? Who knew that the quarterback was going to be out?
Yeah, we're getting a lot of that. Who knew DeQuan Finn was going to be out last night? Right. That was great. I got the flu. I'm sick. Unbelievable. And the market really didn't know that either until maybe an hour before kick. Same with the Horvath stuff. That was starting to leak a little bit in the afternoon. But again, it wasn't on any injury report, really. That's pathetic. I think he'll play this week. I don't think it's going to be good enough. I think Navy benefited from a really weak schedule all year. They've been exposed the last couple of games. But I think they could further get exposed here. I think South Florida, certainly sees the pathway to not only the American Championship game, but the pathway to the playoffs. So but I think they put the pedal to the metal here. I bet South Florida this week.
Do you recommend plus 150 to make the playoff or no good?
That's a good question.
They already spanked North Texas.
Probably, let's just, bet them on the money line this week, roll it over to, all right. Not necessarily next week, but roll it over to the American Championship game.
Yeah.
You do this the entire calendar year for those who have maybe never heard you talk college football with us on the network or anywhere else before, and you're betting this stuff, back in January. So your eyes are always open, right, and looking for good numbers. What do you have, by the way, running down this path with you to maybe open this up a little bit? What do you have in your portfolio betting all the way back in like January as like big conference numbers or whatever you might have there?
Yeah, North Texas, I have, I think 18-1 or 19-1, right around there to win the American. Texas Tech around 12-1. Utah, if they somehow make it, I think I got it at 18-1 to win the Big 12. Georgia Tech at 13-1. So nothing like super. I don't bet a ton of long shots, but I do like getting those teams that are priced in that 10 to 20 range that I think are being mispriced. And obviously they're holding up my money for a long time, but hopefully we can have a very profitable conference futures portfolio, because last year wasn't great. It was the first time I ever lost the conference future portfolio. So I'm hoping to rebound in a big way here.
Yeah, you had a great angle, by the way, great answer when we asked about Texas Tech during one of the commercial breaks, and you bet them back in January because at the time you said that they had the number 1 rated portal, the incoming transfer portal, and you're like 12-1 to win the big. I got to take some of that.
Yeah, I mean, especially with only one portal. I mean, this is in the weeds a little bit, but there's only going to be one transfer portal this upcoming season. So, I mean, follow it a little bit, folks. And if somebody's willing, one of the sports books wants to put up conference futures in January, I mean, look at things like that, because a lot of times they don't have that properly priced in. So, probably an outlier, but I'll tell you this: I probably expect Texas Tech to be in the top 5 in the portal class. They're spending as much money as anybody. So, let's see how they get priced in the futures market this upcoming season. But yeah, that's why I always say to anybody, if you want to be serious about it, specialization, that you can take advantage of your expertise in one single sport than bouncing from every single sport.
Very good. And you gave out Georgia Tech on the air as well in the summer. You mentioned Kiffin earlier. What are you hearing with all these openings and what could happen, especially in the SEC?
The one I'm hearing the most is Florida. I can tell you this: if I'm Lane, I'd probably stay at Ole Miss. You can be fine at 8-4 there.
Yeah,
they'll fire you at Florida, but I know he's kind of quirky. Yeah, thinks he has more upside maybe at Florida. So that's what I'm hearing. Out of all the jobs, that's the one that I'm probably the most sure of. It just so happens to be, if you bet in faraway places, I think he was minus 300 to get it. That was the biggest favorite to land at any job. So that's one. There'll be some dominoes there. Obviously, they're not. Most of these schools are not going to get, the guy that they think they're going to get. Meaning, what the fan base thinks that they're capable of getting. So I think a lot of these fan bases are going to get some rude awakenings as far as who they actually hire. But there's still plenty of good coaches. I think Bob Chesney would be a great hire at any one of these big jobs, whether it's Virginia Tech, Penn State. I would think just as much as that as any of them.
Who ends up at UCLA? Does anybody want that job?
I don't think so. I'll give one probably outside the box a little bit. Tommy Rees. People are going to be like, oh, that's terrible. Got coordinator experience in Notre Dame. Nick Saban thought enough of him to be his offensive coordinator. Not doing well at the Browns. But the reason I bring that name up, his dad, Bill Rees, was I'm aging myself here, right-hand man for Terry Donahue for 20 years. He ran the whole recruiting operation. It was the last time that UCLA was really good for a long period. So I think that would be a nice fit for UCLA.
Very good.
Thank you.
Brad, love talking to you, man. Thanks so much for the time. Best of luck this week.
All right. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yep. There you go. Brad Powers, covers.com, bradpowersports.com, and he's on X at BradPowers7.
Check in one more time, Championship Saturday as well with them coming up. Think sports start getting paid for it with Better Picks, the daily fantasy sports app where your sports knowledge turns into real cash. Sign up today, get free money, and no deposit needed. When you do deposit, 50% deposit match up to $200. Download Better in the app or Google Play Store. Head to better.app. Promo code VEASAN for your free money and deposit bonus. BETR.app, better.app. Get it now and get your free money.
Yeah, and don't forget that we talked about this yesterday. Nick Saban opened up 70 or 75 to 1 to become the next head coach. Faraway places here. At LSU, down to 2 to 1. Move just like that.
I reached out to a guy there. He says, no way.
No way. No chance.
But who knows what's going to happen with that. I'd be shocked, though, until that happens.
I would actually, yes. That's a big move, and so...
He just retired. Left Alabama is what I meant to say, and he keeps saying how much he likes game day.
Sure. Loves the game day angle. And does he really want to get back into it with the current state of college football where it's just going to be, it was always a grind for him. Christ, that one story, he was golfing. He couldn't even enjoy himself because they were playing in the national title game. He was going to miss out on recruiting. Remember that story we talked about? It's like, what? Are you serious? He's playing in the national title game and he's not even happy because he's going to, okay.
He does he's doing all these commercials too.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Easy cash for him.
Yeah. It's a pretty good, was it the Airbnb commercial?
That was very good.
That's a good one.
He was excellent in that commercial.
The guru, John Hansen, on the program coming up next. Been on fire with his player props. We'll ask him what he likes for tonight's game next.